The genesis of St. John Paul II Classical School began with a number of moms and dads asking, could we begin a Catholic classical school? We've started off with 34 missionary-type families, and we've grown to over 200 students from pre-K through high school.
There's several different reasons why I chose this school, and the main one is that it aligns with our vision for our family.
It completely fit the model that we were looking for. Classical education is truly a gift to both the families and to the students.
We made a leap of faith, assuming they would add a class every year, which they did, going through 8th grade. And we're grateful that they opened up Chesterton Academy, which would allow them to complete high school here as well.
The classical education model dips into all of those things that for millennia people have thought was important for education. So we're not doing anything new. It's just a revival.
Classical is not based off of standards. Yes, we assess, we have to instructionally, just to know where our kids are at, and yet the child is more than a number, a child is more than a grade. We are teaching the whole child.
We consider the head, we consider the heart, and thirdly, the soul. We're not producing workers, we're not producing wage earners, we're producing future saints.
It's really cool in how everyone gets the full breadth of the liberal arts. You don't really get a choice. Some kids I met this year never been in a choir before, and 3 months in, they're absolutely killing it out there.
When I came to the school, I was kind of like, my confidence wasn't that great because I was at a new school and I didn't really know anybody. But the presentations by talking in front of everybody really helped.
We have ancient rhymes and riddles that we do. And what I've noticed is that the child's capacity for memorization at this stage in their development is outstanding.
They memorize lines upon lines upon lines, and not only recite it, but do it beautifully. And we know that this is making a lasting impact on their mind, their heart, their development, and we're really excited to see where it takes them.
Obviously, the model and the desire for a classical school here in Green Bay is continuing to grow, and that's nationwide, that's not just here.
We're learning about stars and planets. Earlier this year, we learned about atoms and nuclear fusion, so it's really interesting. And we also had Latin earlier this year, and I love learning a second language.
Classical can sometimes be confused with old and archaic and irrelevant. However, this mind that is able to think, speak, to write, to know, to develop is relevant to everything. It's not a narrow focus, but actually a wide focus.
Logic is 100% relevant. We know that learning critical thinking, being able to manage time, being able to manage people, being able to write cohesively, translate our ideas onto text and share that with one another, those are relevant 100% of the time.
The special sauce for a classical school is Socratic discussion. We want them to be able to think well, speak well, write well. Their ability to be able to engage, we have a no cell phone policy here in school. And some kids are like, oh wait, what do I do without a cell phone? And I was like, I don't know, you talk to people.
People are encouraged to share ideas. We're not just lectured at or talked to. We're encouraged to talk with one another and raise questions, raise ideas, even controversial questions and ideas.
There's a beautiful part of the classical pedagogy where everything is approached in questioning. There's always a deeper question there. I love that that's modeled after our Lord and how he teaches his disciples. They can seek truth, goodness, and beauty in asking questions because they should never fear the answer.
To give forth an idea and to be able to defend it, that's something just so key in our culture to be able to do.
But also being able to listen to what others are saying too. I think that's a great component to collaborate ideas too.
It really emphasizes articulation, grammar, rhetoric. This place teaches a lot of practical life skills outside of a traditional school sense.
Virtue is a big deal. And it definitely feeds into the faith side of the students as well. Everything that we do is always directed and ordered towards the Holy Trinity, towards the incarnational Jesus.
That's something that we know we have to do, is to have our Lord at the center.
They're being taught to value virtues in school. They bring that home with them too. That has been beautiful to witness.
Respect is a big part of who we are and what shapes the individuals going forward. Not just in the school day, but beyond the school day.
It is a genuinely classical, Catholic, liberal arts education, and you don't really get that anywhere else. The fundamental virtue of being a servant for God and for man that we learn here will not fail me in any career or field that I choose to go into.
He can do whatever he wants because he will have not only had the roots and the seeds of the faith planted, but also been trained in terms of how to think, not necessarily what. That's a really, really big deal in a culture that largely tries to forego things like logic and common sense.
They incorporate the faith into almost every aspect of the children's school day.
In the Catechism of the Good Shepherd program, what we call the Atrium, students were engaged in works with the catechist teacher. And in this work, they were not just completing busyness, but they were encountering Jesus Christ.
There is no better place that I would choose as a parent to have my kids attend, knowing that their faith is not only honored, but it's cherished and it's grown here.
You're going to pick up skills and you're going to meet people here and you're going to learn things that you're going to take with you for the rest of your life.
This is a very faithful community, and we want our children to be saints. And if that's important to you, then you should definitely be here.